Next to fishing, there's nothing more fun than hanging out in your garage and screwing with baits. So that's what we're gonna do. Stay tuned. Welcome to mikeybalzz Fishing, guys and gals. There's actually girls that watch this too, which is kind of hot and kind of awesome. We're not fishing today, so I'm in the garage. Chatterbaits are a super popular thing. And a chatterbait, they have like a patent on it, so it's like this special thing. There's certain variations. But the thing is probably one of the most sold chatterbaits is the chatterbait. And it's probably one of the most popular, you know, that bladed swim jig style. So getting something that's a little bit different, you guys know I'm like obsessed with like vibration, you know, like I'll fish that 6XD, then I'll fish a flat side, then I'll fish a, you know, whatever, just to get different vibrations that communicate with that lateral line. So I think the same is true with the chatterbait, you know, getting that chatterbait action, but getting a slightly different action, a slightly different vibration, because everyone is throwing either that, the Jackhammer or that super duper expensive one, which I forget what it's called, and I'll put links to them down in the description box. But for that reason, here's what we're gonna do today. You guys remember D&M Custom Baits? I mean, how could you forget, right? And if you haven't seen some of those old school videos, we got like the super newt crazy topwater bite out on Lake Okeechobee. I fish it next to the boat. I'm tossing it's a D&M Custom Baits newt, and that's a 5.5 right there. And some pitching, just dude, it's one of the first freaking companies that I like really like their stuff. The dude helped me out a little bit. He was good people, and it actually has new owners in that. But what I'm going to show you right now, actually hold that thought. Yeah, you see all this stuff? We're going to give it away. There's like an underspin in there with a brush guard. It's like a swim jig underspin. There's these are like modded baits. You can put like a hook on the or not a hook, but you can put a hook or a spinner bait or like a blade on the front. You can do all kinds of stuff. Then we got some Pirahna too. These are the chatterbait deals. Just like, actually they look just like this one. You know, perfect. Very cool. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna give away a bunch of D&M Custom Baits stuff, that little grab bag once we get through the video. But here's what I want you to do. For me to give something to you, you gotta do something for me. I want you to watch this video and tell me any other chatterbait tweaks, tricks, mods that you do to make your chatterbait a little bit different. All right, let's get to it, all right? All right, so you like my phone right there? So if you go on Tackle Warehouse, you see right, where is it? Right there. So that's a D&M Custom Baits Pirahna swim jig, and then you can see they sell blades like that. So what we're gonna do today is I'm gonna show you how to take this and make it into a chatterbait. And it definitely has a different vibration. Like, I promise you that. I fished a Jackhammer. I fished the other like Z Man products and that, which are awesome. Don't get me wrong. The Evergreen, that's the name of it. But this definitely has a different vibration, has a different movement. I think it displaces more water, and personally, I think it's better for ripping grass. That's my personal opinion. But enough of me talking. Let me show you how we do this. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab this Pirahna swim jig. Like I said, they're at Tackle Warehouse. I usually have, like, I'll get like a bluegill and then a white one. You know, we talked about kind of covering your shad ends and your brim ends in general. Most lakes, those are the forage types that you're gonna have. And even if they're not there, you have something else, it's gonna look pretty comparable unless you're getting like crazy like West Coast like trout stuff. So I got this guy, it's a 3/8 ounce. This is actually the chatterbait I've been using quite a bit on Gunnersville or bladed swim jig. Got kind of a cool scrub pattern. What I actually like about these D&M ones too is they do have like this extra long shank hook right there. So you end up freaking like not missing any fish, but you're actually not running like a trailer hook. It does have a keeper incorporated as well that holds pretty well. And it's got a cool paint job. That's the 3/8 ounce with, I think those are 3DIs on there. So what you're gonna do though, is you're gonna grab yourself a little micro needle nose just like this, And you can see there's a ever so slight gap. Do you guys see that right there in that eye right there? And you're going to take that needle nose and you're just going to, just a little, as little as possible, bend that out, just like that. Like, it might need to go a little bit more. Do less is more. Like, as little as possible, bend that thing out. Once you got that little gap in there, you're gonna go ahead, and they have those blades on Tackle Warehouse. You're gonna grab out your blade, and if you guys remember, you guys actually enjoyed this video. I went and did a day of fishing with Jacob Wall Fishing. Check him out. He's a rookie on the FLW Tour. Super cool kid, super goal driven, like just an independent guy, which is what I like. I like self-made people. But we had a discussion about blade colors on Chatterbaits, and we both agreed that we love dark blades, like black blades. I might even actually take this blade and sand it out a little bit, because it's like a what would you call it, like a black nickel kind of look to it, which might be a little flashy for me. But dark blades on Chatterbaits, awesome. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this Pirahna jig, and we got that gap. Now, do you see how there's a little bit of concave? Let me move here, but a little bit of concave in that blade. It's basically pitching up. Just imagine when you're putting it on, it's like the hull of a boat, like a John boat. You want that slight concave to be pushing forward. So we got our jig head, ta-da, and you drop it on just like that. See how it's super simple? Using the last hole on the blade right there. And like I said, let me reordinate. You see how it's pitched forward just like that? There's that slight bend, and it's pitched forward. And all we're gonna do is we're gonna take that needle nose and we're gonna crimp it closed. The reason you want to open it as little as possible is every time that you do something like this, it weakens that wire. So the less you open it, the less weakened that wire will be. So do you see how we kind of closed that gap right there? No more gap. We're locked on. We got one more step we need to do. So the kit actually comes with, you guys know I use these guys. These are kind of quick clips. I use them quite a bit on my crankbait setup so I can switch out baits really fast. All right, you don't want to bend it out too much, but we got her open. Now, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take that eye right there, and you're gonna take that point and you're gonna push it through the first hole on the front of the chatterbait. So, dupe, going through the first hole. All right, you see how we're through the first hole, through just the first hole. Once you get it through, then you need to pass it through this second hole on the blade. I recommend, once again, using that needle nose to kind of jostle it. Let me get a little closer so you guys can see. You kind of pop it through. It takes a little bit of effort, not too much, but a little bit. So once you got that thing through, it should look something like this. You have the loop going through just like that, and then you're gonna have the front looking just like this. It's basically open. So all we're gonna do is we're going to close that just like that, and ta-da. Actually, let me dangle it with this thing. It'll make it look clear. See how we have the clip is through. We're attached directly to the jig. We're all crimped closed. We have a full and beautiful bladed swim jig or chatterbait ready to go. Like I said, the Z Man, like the Evergreen, the super expensive one, and the Jackhammer, awesome freaking chatterbaits. Don't get me wrong, they catch a bunch of fish. But on a place like Lake Gunnersville, where it sees so much pressure, or Lake Okeechobee, or any of those places where you can throw a chatterbait and catch some absolute giants, giving them a little bit different sound, a little bit like different presentation, I think can make a huge difference. It's the same concept as that crankbait thing. Slightly different vibration, slightly different noise, slightly different water displacement gets them to go, dude, because they're seeing a lot of the other stuff. So show them something. It doesn't have to be like change the world, but slightly different. Don't forget, guys, I got a bunch of friggin' D&M stuff ready to give away to you guys. Just drop a comment down in the box. I want to hear your best chatterbait mod. Any suggestions that you have to make a chatterbait sound different, act different, just to kind of like set it apart from everything that's out there, because we all know that most people are throwing that Z Man, which works, but they're seeing a lot of it. So how do you set your presentation apart? How do you make it act a little bit different to draw those fish in? Hope you enjoyed this video. I'll put links to everything we talked about from D&M Custom Baits down in the description box. Kind of a throwback to the old school D&M Custom Bait days. But this this bladed jig is sick. You gotta mod it and kind of do it yourself, which is kind of cool. But caught a lot of big fish on this. This is one of the first chatterbaits I ever threw way back in like 2012, 2011, and got a lot of history with it. So give it a try. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. We are out until we do some more fishing or some mods.
Yeah.